boomerangs.
An important piece of the Sphinx puzzle lies in an obscure corner of the museum. The inventory stela records a fact that unravels the traditional dating of the Sphinx. It records that the Sphinx appears to have already been a sacred and venerated monument at a date when its supposed builder, Khephren, had yet to be born.
This is the so-called inventory stela, which tells that Khufu, Cheops, built a temple to Isis alongside the Sphinx. Meaning the Sphinx is there in Khufu's time and it's not built by Khephren. Well, he was the pharaoh before Khephren who built the Great Pyramid, so that in and of itself means that the Sphinx is there in Khufu's time. So when did it get built then?
Wow.
The way that the academics weasel their way out of this is that studying the stone, studying these scratchy hieroglyphs, they find that the language is actually late. It's late period hieroglyphs. But the late period was consciously trying to, it was kind of a retro dynasty. They were consciously reviving the styles and all sorts of, all kinds of Old Kingdom iconography and Old Kingdom sculptural styles and artistic styles. They were deliberately reconstituting. The language had, of course, changed. So to argue that this is a late kingdom, sort of a late kingdom invention, really begs the issue. It's like saying that a 20th century translation of the Bible isn't really the Bible, because it's not the King James Version and it's not in Aramaic. It's a translation, so really it's a very powerful piece of evidence.
Could the Great Sphinx itself be a relic from prehistory? Perhaps the most visible example of an advanced civilization in Egyptian prehistory is at the Great Sphinx itself. Although the head was quite obviously recarved in dynastic times, the body and the man-made courtyard in which it sits show signs of heavy water weathering. R.A. Schwaller de Lubitz spent decades in Egypt resurrecting the seemingly lost science of the ancients. In a discussion of the development and prehistory of Egypt, he notes, "A great civilization must have preceded the vast movements of water that passed over Egypt, which leads us to assume that the Sphinx already existed, sculpted in the rock of the western